Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and I'm going to show you how to play Classified Information, which is going to be a two-player head-to-head game published by IncrediQuest Games. This game here, you're going to be trying to keep your classified information classified while trying to figure out what your opponent's classified information is and steal it. Let's go down to the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play Classified Information. All right, so this is classified information. Now I have an 18 card deck here. It's going to be an 18 card game, but I also have these three different sets, which are going to have different sets of cards in them. Now these cards for classified information, you're going to notice they're going to go through 1 through 9, and there's going to be 2 of these cards for each of the numbers. Now in this game, it's a sort of a deduction game. We're going to try to break through and steal the other player's classified information. I just want to let you know that there's the base deck, but you also can get 3 other sets here to play the game. So there's a lot of replayabilities in these little decks here, and the game itself is going to be an 18 card game. Also in these decks, they have the decoders here, and the decoders, so these guys right here, can be on their own little stands that come with the game here, and these stands look like this, and they'll angle them so you're the only person that can see the decoder, and you'll be able to reference that throughout the game. The other thing that you can get with this game here is they have these little cards here, and in these cards you can place notes here, notes, and you can mark off the decoder. So that's the other way that you can get that, and that stays hidden in the game. And each player is going to get one of either of those, whichever you decide to go with. You can also get this card appendix that's going to go through all the cards and describe them, and it has the rule book here. Also, if you get the Kickstarter edition one, you'll also get this really cool coin here, which you can use to determine the first player with the game. All right, so how do you set up the game? Well, you're going to shuffle this 18 card deck here, and you're going to give each player 2 cards. The next thing is you're going to generate the player's suitcase. And then you're going to take 2 cards and put it in the encryption pile. Now, a note for the encryption pile here is that can be larger if you want to make the game more difficult. So you can increase the difficulty of the game by increasing the number of cards that you have in that encryption pile. And that also will decrease the number of turns because it's only 18 cards. So 2 cards in that encryption pile is going to be normal. If I put 4 cards in there, that's going to be hard. And if I put 6 cards in there, that's going to be insane because you're only going to have 4 turns in the game. So obviously, if you're the first time playing this game, you're going to only put 2 cards in the encryption pile. Now, the goal of this game is going to be to try to figure out what the numbers on the suitcase are. So the suitcase has 3 different numbers on it. It's going to have this 2, 3, and 4 here. The only numbers we care about in the suitcase. Other cards, other than the suitcase, have other things. We have the card value up here. So this one's a 3. We have the card type here. This one's being a Sentinel. There's 3 different types of cards: there's Guard, Assassin, and Sentinel. And then there's the card ability here in the middle. So these are multi-purpose cards. But for the card in the suitcase, all we care about these cards on the bottom. That opponent's going to be trying to have their last card match one of the numbers that is in the suitcase to try to win the game. And there's things you can do to protect your suitcase, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I mention that because we need to make sure when we set this up and move the card deck in the middle, you have enough room between the suitcases and the card deck to put out the 3 guards that you could potentially have out in the game. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to give each player a cipher wheel. In this case, we're using this one here because we have the extra notes. And you give each player a dry erase marker, and you're ready to start the game. Now, the game it's going to start with someone choosing a player. Now you can flip a coin or whatever you want to do to choose a player. After that, the game is going to begin. Players are going to take turns until the end game condition is met. Basically, we run out of cards. On your turn, you're going to draw a card from the draw deck, and then you're going to pick one of the following actions here. You have 3 choices. You could deploy, you can enlist, and you can encrypt. Now, When you deploy, you're simply going to look at these cards here. And whatever they say on the card is the thing that you're doing. So here I can swap your suitcases with the card on the top of the deck. Play only if you have your suitcase is guarded by 3 guards. I don't have 3 guards, I couldn't play this one. Look at the 3 cards of the draw deck, discard 2 cards, and leave the third on the bottom of the deck. Keep the sands in time of play, but this card here, only one of these can be played by each player. So if I get a second one of these cards, I can't play it. This one here, guess your opponent's suitcase number. If you're correct, you win the game. If you're incorrect, you lose the game. So that one's not so that great. The other thing to keep in mind is I have these 3 cards in my hand. I know that there's only 2 3s in the game. So this one here is going to tell me, this wheel here is going to tell me what combinations can exist. So this 3 here, if you look at the bottom, has 2, 3, and 4. So this 3, there's 2 in the game, and the cards that are the combination lock on the bottom of it is 2, 3, 4. So I know, I can make this little slash here, I know that one of these cards is out of the game. And I can slash on this 4 here, because I know I have one of those, and slash one of these. And later on, when I see both of them, I can cross that out. I also get to see my cipher card, so now I know that's a 3. I know that this is not a possibility in the game at all. So that's going to be how you're going to narrow things down as you go through. Already at the beginning of the game, I have a good bit of information to start getting moving on what I think that might be. So that was deploy. I could deploy for the action in the middle. The other thing I can do is enlist. And enlist, you're going to use these things on top. This one's a sentinel. This one is going to be a guard. But you also have the red card here, which is going to be an assassin. Now, guard cards are pretty simple. What you're going to do with a guard card is you're going to take that card and you're going to place it face down in front of your suitcase there to protect your suitcase. And you can have up to 3 guards at any one time. Now, actions in the game can cause this to flip up. But when you deploy it, it's going to be face down. The other thing you can do is you can play a assassin. If you play an assassin, you're attempting to take out an opponent's guard here. And we're going to go over that in a minute. The other thing you can do is you could play a sentinel. And the sentinel can either be a guard face down or use it as an assassin to take out the other player's guard. The final thing I can do on my turn is I can discard a card from my hand and place it in the encryption pile. So that basically removes it from the game. I know what that card is, but my opponent will never know what that card is. So those are the 3 different things you can do on your turn. Now the game is going to end when the player draws the last card from the draw deck. They're going to finish their turn, and then we're going to keep on going until everyone has one final card in their hand. At that part, we're going to do the big reveal. Each player reveals their suitcase, so we'll flip this over, reveal your suitcase, and they're going to reveal their final card. So how do we determine a winner? So we're going to check to see whether the card number on each player's final card matches any number on the opponent's code. So if this is this player's final number, that 3, or final card we'll say, from their hand, they put it down, that 3 matches the 3 on mine. So that would win. If it matches a number that's on one of these guards, which is in case it does not, that would have blocked them from being able to win. So if neither player has an unguarded match, then the player with the most guards will win. So if neither of us actually match what's in the suitcase, the person with the most guards will win. If one player has an unguarded match, that player wins. If both players have an unguarded match, then the player with the most guards wins. If both players have the same number of guards, the game ends in a tie. So basically what's going to happen is, this player, I would have flipped this one, this player flipped this one. I don't match anything here. This player matches here, they win the game. However, if they would have flipped this card instead as their last card, then no one has a match here, so the person with the most guards would win, which would be me. If we tied for any reason on there, we actually end in tying the game. So if the opponent had a guard here, then we would tie, and the game would end in a time. We'll play again. That would go the same as if we had numbers that matched both of these. So we both won. We would look at guard counts. So that's going to be how you end the game and how you determine the winner for the end of the game. Let's circle back, and I'm going to show you how to do assassination. So this is the only semi-complicated part of the game. So there could be two sets of your guards here. You could have a face-up guard and a face-down guard. If you have a face-up guard, it's pretty easy. The guard, when you play the assassin card from your hand, whose code contains at least one number that is also contained in the code of your guard. Now, one thing that I'm going to bring up here real quick is going to be some very important thing for the game here. You have a card number and a code. The card number is on the top, the code is on the bottom. So if I play this assassin here, 912, and I'm trying to take out this guard here at 543, I won't be able to take it out because I don't match the code. We don't look at the card numbers, we're going to look at the code. But if I played a card that did match that code on the bottom, so let's say, this one here instead, this 3 will match this 3, actually all of them will match, and I'll be able to destroy that guard. Now there are face down guards, so if there's a face down guard, then it's a little different. So the way the face down card's going to work is your opponent is playing the assassin is going to read off each of the 3 numbers. The other player is going to look underneath here and see if they match any of the numbers that they have on their card. If they do, that card is destroyed. If not, the opponent that they're trying to destroy the guard from, the guard stays, and that opponent has to reveal one of their cards. So either way, you're going to get information from your opponent. You just may not take out that guard. You will also know that guard isn't one of those numbers too. So you got a lot of information every time you do an assassination. And that's the only semi-complex part of the game is going to be those assassination cards. One note for assassination too is when cards get discarded, the player who's doing the assassination decides how the cards will be discarded in the discard pile, so whichever one's going to be on top. So that was classified information. That's going to be how you play it. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. It helps us get more videos out to you guys, helps us get more content for you, and all of that fun stuff. But either way, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.